Hey there, Infiniteers! It is Friday once again, and that means it's time for our next episode of Toy Box Tutorials. Today, we're going to take a look at another toy that you can unlock in the Marvel Battlegrounds playset, and that is the Mine Car. And you can unlock this toy by completing challenge number 7 as the Black Panther, and when you do, you will find this toy in the set pieces drawer in the editor like you see here. And let's place one here just off the end of this little bridge. Trying to get as close as I can. There we go. And I kind of want to center it on the bridge. And I want to make sure we go lower so the player has to jump down into it. So we'll place it right there. And as you can see, you can place it in your environment, but it doesn't seem to do very much. But like many of the other toys, there's a bit more to this set piece than meets the eye. So if we select the toy, you'll see in the lower right corner we have a menu there, and there's a logic menu. So if we open that up, you can connect this toy to a path, and we also have some trigger signals that this will broadcast. And they are activated and deactivated. And those correspond with a couple of behaviors for this toy as well, to activate and deactivate it. You might wonder, well, what does that do exactly? Well, let's go drop a couple of buttons down and see what we can do with them. So we'll place one here, and we'll place one here. We'll hook this one up to activate it. And we'll hook this one up to deactivate it. Alright, let's see what that does. So when we activate it, you'll notice it starts moving. The little thrusters are going down there below it, and it's kind of rocking back and forth. And that's really all it does. It kind of gives the impression that it's moving. You can see it also kind of moves back and forth a little bit this way as well. And not just back and forth that way and up and down. And of course, when you turn it off, that stops that behavior. Now, if you remember from the Marvel Battlegrounds playset, there were some crates that were on it that you could jump around on and destroy. And so you might be wondering, can we do that with this toy in the toy box? So we'll try it out. If we go under the decorations drawer, there's all kinds of things you could try, but you can try putting the shipping crate in here, and you'll see we run into the bounding box issue. So it doesn't really matter what you try to put inside of this thing. You can't place anything in here. But you'll notice if you try to place it on the surface, it drops below the surface there. I remember some of these were on the toy. You can't place these here either. And of course these aren't subject to gravity, so if you drop it up here, it won't fall down onto it. So you can't do that like you saw in the Marvel Battlegrounds playset. It's just going to be empty here. There's nothing more you can do with that. But as I said, you can attach it to a path. So let's play around with this mine car and see what we can do with it. And for my toy box, I want to use it as a vehicle to get over to that next island. And so what we're going to do, we'll need a couple of creativity toys for this, besides the mine car itself. That went too far. First, I want to use a trigger area. And I don't want to have this car actually move until the player jumps into it. And so we're going to drop a trigger area here. I can select that little thing. Okay. And then we're going to need the path. And for the path, we're going to center it on this bridge, since that's where we centered the mining car. We're also going to center it underneath the mining car. And because objects rest on top of the path, we're going to put the point down here below the mine car. And then we're going to go all the way out here till we're just off the edge of that little dock there. Just like that. We'll add that point and exit. Okay, so that's how the mine car is going to travel from this little dock down to that little dock. And then we need one more toy, and that is a time delayer, because I don't want to make this thing start moving the second the player enters that trigger area. I want to give it a couple of seconds here before that happens. So we're going to set our time delayer to 2 seconds to give the player time enough to get down into the mine car there. We also need to set our path properties. To turn off auto start objects when connected. And then we'll come up to the mining car and we'll do a new path connection. And we will connect it to our path. And then come back up to the mining car, and we now have properties in here for the path. So we're going to orient along the path. All the rest of those are fine, but the movement style we're going to set to one way and stop. Okay, so we'll come to the trigger area, and we'll do a new logic connection when entered by player any. We're going to come start our time delayer. And we can delete these 2 buttons because we're done with those. And on our time delayer, we'll do a new logic connection when the delay is completed. So 2 seconds after they enter this trigger area and get down inside this thing, we'll activate the mine car so it starts its movement. And on the time delayer, a new logic connection when the delay is completed. Come down to our path, and we'll do a reset and play, and that will start the mining car moving along the path. And we only want to do this once, so one more thing we'll do is a new logic connection when the delay is completed. We'll disable or deactivate our trigger area. Alright. And then when we get to the end of the path, because of the movement style that we set on the mine car, it will automatically stop moving, but we want it to stop its motion. And so on the point, we'll do a new logic connection. When the point is reached by the object on the path, we'll come to the mining car and deactivate that, which will stop the little rocking motion that it has. Oh, and probably a good idea is to go ahead and set up our reset button over here. Our reset button is connected to the level starter. So on the level starter, we'll do a new logic connection on catalyze. So if we want to test this multiple times, we'll need to reactivate the trigger area And we'll need to move the mine car back to the start of the path. So on the level starter, a new logic connection. On catalyze, we'll come over to the path. And we'll do a reset and stop. There we go. Alright, let's try it out. So Mickey finishes his boss battle there, hops down into the mining car, and we start moving, heading over towards this other island. You can see the rocking motion of the car. And when we get up to the end of the path, that rocking motion should stop, as well as the forward motion. And it does. We're no longer rocking. And now Mickey has made it over to the next island. And of course, we've already done our little puzzle here with the gantry claw. So if you missed that, you can do that and take a look at that in an earlier episode. But that's how the mine car works and what you can do with it. It's not quite as impressive as it is in the Marvel Battlegrounds playset, but you can still do some neat things with it. Next time, we'll look at another toy from the Marvel Battlegrounds playset and see what we can do with that. Until then, I want to thank you for watching. Before you go, leave a comment and let me know what you think of the mine car and my tutorial for it. And as always, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel and you like my Disney Infinity toy boxes and tutorials, just click my photo in the lower right corner of this video and you'll never miss a video when I air one. That's all for me today. Have a great weekend.